Back for this Wellness Wednesday edition of News Channel 20 Marketplace. I'm Ashley Doss, joined with Dr. Craig Bax from the Center of Prevention here in Springfield, along with Mr. Mike Suhadolnik. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here.
All right, so we're here to talk about ways that we can cure chronic diseases and kind of notice some of those signs and symptoms of chronic disease. So Dr. Craig Bax, talk to us a little bit about why we're here today.
Well, first of all, thank you for having us.
Yeah.
The idea that you can cure somebody of a chronic disease like diabetes or pre-diabetes was a real challenging idea. I have to give Mike credit, and that's why he's here. He's written a book because he's the one who has the audacity to write a book that says, I knew we had a cure, and it took a little while for him to convince me that we actually had a cure for chronic disease. I'll take myself as an example. 6 years ago, I had pre-diabetes, pre-hypertension. I was obese, 70 pounds heavier. He challenged me, reversed all those things, and 5 years, more than 5 years later, I have none of those things. And if there was cancer, we would call that a cure. So as we took this type of care to our patients, we had to stop and think, should we talk about having a cure for these chronic diseases? And now we're seeing it in our patients. Our patients are talking about being cured of their disease. And so I wanted to bring Mike with me today, at least make people aware that he's written a book. I think it's worthwhile reading. Good things come in small packages. It doesn't take long, but the message is very simple and powerful.
All right, Mike, so talk to us about this book that you've authored and your journey working with Dr. Bax.
Yeah, well, you know, somebody had to put it in writing. There's no doubt what we did. We can actually take a chronic disease, stop it, reverse it, and then make ourselves resilient so it doesn't come back. I was the coach that addressed what to eat, when to eat, and then what to do to enable it to do this. And it's no accident that all these things happen. We've had over 300 people go through this process, and it's just time that this had to come from somebody like in my position. And it started out with 400 pages, and I know better than that to think that somebody reads a full book, and they don't. So we got it down to 64 pages. Can be read in about an hour.
So what are some tips that you have for our viewers if they're struggling with things like prediabetes and they need some assistance in terms of curing their chronic disease? Do you recommend that they work with someone like Dr. Bax or simply just read the book to find out more about your journey?
Well, there's a couple things. He can measure. Okay. And that's one thing that we sort of brought to the table. And he can tell you what stage you're at. And then we work together. And we've got to address what you eat and when you eat. And this includes fasting, how to work out, when to work out. And he can monitor in 90 days what's happening. And that's typically what it takes, about 90 days. But we needed a treatise. We needed something that was in writing. And he wrote the foreword for it. And Dr. Simbel wrote the epilogue at the end, and it's been reviewed by several editors, and it's for sale right now. And you could either get it at Dr. Bax's office, or you could get it at CrossFit Instinct, located in the Fair Hills Mall.
Okay, and lastly, where can they go for more information, Dr. Bax, to meet with you if they're having some of these signs and symptoms of chronic diseases and they need some assistance moving forward?
Our phone number is 217-321-1987. And our website is thecenterforprevention.com.
All right, thank you so much, both of you, Mike and Dr. Bax, for joining us here on News Channel 20 Marketplace.